Let's discuss and understand about one of the most important topics in math, that is trigonometry. Okay, so this particular chapter we are going to deal with trigonometry. Now, what you have in this particular chapter is a little bit of continuation of what you had studied last year in 10th. Okay, now the basics we start with angles. Now, here you're introduced to a new concept of angle measurement, that is radian measure. Okay, so you're introduced to radian measure. Then we start with what are the trigonometric identities and functions. Trigonometric functions, you already know the six trigonometric functions, sine, cos, tan, those things. And identities also, you know, the three trigonometric identities. And along with that, we have a little more extensive version of how we use different types of trigonometric function. Like you have compound angles and you have multiple and submultiple angles. When we say compound, sine of a plus b, cos of a plus b types. Okay, multiple sine 2 theta, cos 3 theta, or submultiple is sine theta by 2. Now, this particular chapter extensively deals with these kind of formula. All right. Now, apart from that, then we have another important part of trigonometry, that is trigonometric equations. Okay, once you have trigonometric equations, then you deal with, okay, suppose if you have an equation based out of trigonometric function, how are you going to solve it? Then in the trigonometric functions, you have another important formula called the transformation formula. So this particular chapter, trigonometry chapter, the basics of the entire trigonometry, what you are going to use for this year as well as next year for both, that is included in this chapter. Now, I cannot stress it more and more, but this is probably the most important lesson for this particular year. All right, because you are going to carry the same trigonometric functions and identities for the next year also. I cannot stress more than this, but please understand that this particular chapter, what you are going to study now, this particular chapter is extremely important. Okay, now after this, from the next video onwards, we'll start with the radian measurement. What is a radian? What is an angle? We look into all these things in detail.